Hey friends, and welcome back to English Podcast for Listening and Speaking. It's so lovely to have you here with me again, or perhaps for the very first time. I hope you're feeling cozy, perhaps with a warm drink in your hand, ready to simply be. Here, in our little corner of the audio world, we explore the beauty of the English language not through strict rules or fast-paced drills, but through stories, reflections, and gentle conversations. It's a space where you can learn at your own pace, soaking in new words and phrases, not just with your mind, but with your heart. We believe that learning can be calm, enriching, and deeply personal, like discovering a quiet path in a peaceful forest. This podcast is designed to be a gentle companion on your English journey, helping you feel more confident and connected with every word. If this episode resonates with you, if it brings a little peace or helps a new English phrase click into place, I'd be so grateful if you took a moment to like, subscribe, or perhaps leave a kind comment. It helps our quiet little community grow and lets me know that these gentle words are finding their way to you. Now, get comfortable. Maybe pour some tea, and let's begin. Today, we're going to talk about something very personal, something that touches all our lives, motivation, and how to embrace change, not by making huge, difficult leaps, but by starting incredibly small. Have you ever felt a deep desire for something to be different in your life? Perhaps a longing to learn a new skill, to feel healthier, or to finally begin that creative project that whispers to you late at night? We often imagine these changes as grand, sweeping transformations, like waking up one day as an entirely new person. And that can feel overwhelming, can't it? It's like standing at the bottom of a vast mountain, looking up at the peak and feeling your breath catch. Where do you even begin? The sheer scale of it can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in the very place we wish to leave. I remember a time not so long ago when I felt that exact way about reading. I loved the idea of being someone who read widely, who devoured books. But life felt so full, and my energy often so low, that the thought of picking up a thick novel felt like another chore. I'd set grand goals for myself. I'll read a book a week, or I'll read for an hour every night. Of course, these ambitions, while beautiful in theory, would crumble within a day or two. I'd feel a pang of disappointment, a quiet voice telling me I wasn't disciplined enough, or perhaps simply not a reader. My habit was to not read, and I saw no way to change it. Then, one quiet evening, a different thought floated into my mind. What if I didn't aim for a chapter or even a page? What if I just aimed for one sentence? Yes, that's it. Just one single sentence. It felt almost silly, so small as to be meaningless, but precisely because it was so tiny, it held no pressure. It required no monumental effort. So, that night, before turning out my light, I opened a book and read just one sentence. Then I closed it. The next night, I did the same. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, something shifted. Reading one sentence led to two. 2 sentences became a short paragraph. A paragraph quietly stretched into a page. And before I truly noticed it, without ever making a conscious grand declaration, I was reading a chapter. Sometimes, on tired nights, it would still be just a sentence or a paragraph. Other nights, I would get lost in the words for 20 minutes, then 30. It wasn't a sudden burst of motivation that propelled me forward. It was the whisper of consistency, the quiet power of doing something small every single day without judgment or expectation. This gentle process taught me a profound truth. Change your habits, change your life. But the magic isn't in forcing a huge, immediate change. It's in understanding that every massive transformation you see around you, in nature, in people, in societies, started with a microscopic action. A single seed becoming a towering tree. A single drop of water shaping a canyon over millennia. A single thought transforming into a new idea. This is the heart of our conversation today. That you don't need to overhaul your entire life in one dramatic moment. You don't need to wait for a surge of motivation that might never arrive. All you need is one small action, just one. Perhaps it's learning one new English word today. Perhaps it's taking one deep, calming breath when you feel overwhelmed. Or maybe it's simply saying no to one negative thought about yourself and replacing it with a kind one. These are what we call micro actions. They are tiny, manageable steps that, when repeated consistently, begin to weave a new tapestry for your life. They build momentum, not through brute force, but through gentle, unwavering presence. The power to transform your life truly lies within you right now, not someday in the distant future. It begins with the courage to take that first incredibly small step. And as we continue our conversation, we'll explore how these tiny steps can lead to the most wonderful, fulfilling changes imaginable. Now, as we talk about making these gentle shifts in our lives, it's helpful to have some words that truly capture what we mean. Words that can become part of your thinking and even your inner voice. These aren't just vocabulary words, they are concepts, feelings, and tools for your journey of change. The first word is something we just spoke about. Micro-action. Listen closely. Micro-action. A micro-action is a tiny, tiny step. It's a very small, manageable action that takes almost no effort. Think of it as something you can do even when you feel tired or unmotivated or unsure. It's the opposite of a grand, overwhelming task. Remember my story about reading just one sentence? That was a micro-action. Let's say you want to start exercising more. A micro-action could be standing up from your chair for just 30 seconds. Or, if you want to learn English better, a micro-action could be simply listening to one English song or repeating one phrase from this podcast. It's something so small that it feels impossible to fail. Can you say it with me, slowly? Micro-action. The next word is crucial for any change to take root. Consistency. Listen again. Consistency. Consistency means doing something regularly, often, and in the same way, even if it's just a tiny bit each time. It's not about doing a lot all at once, but about showing up again and again. Like the gentle drip of water that eventually carves a stone, consistency builds enduring change. It's the quiet power that transforms micro-actions into real progress. For example, if you practice English for just 5 minutes every day, that's consistency. It's much more powerful than studying for 2 hours once a month. It's about building a rhythm, a steady beat in your life. This consistent effort, no matter how small, helps you become someone who truly is learning and growing. Let's try saying it together. Consistency. Now, let's think about how we talk to ourselves, especially when we face challenges. The next word is reframing. Hear it carefully. Reframing. To reframe something means to look at it in a new way, to change your perspective on a situation or a thought. Often, our minds can be a bit negative, can't they? We might think, I'm not good enough, or this is too hard. Reframing is about consciously choosing to see things differently, to give them a new frame. Instead of, I don't have time, you might reframe it to, I'll give 5 minutes today. If you make a mistake speaking English, instead of thinking, oh, I'm bad at this, you could reframe it to, that was a chance to learn. I just gained new understanding. It's about shifting from self-doubt to empowering self-talk. It changes how you feel and how you act. Can you try it with me? Reframing. Moving on, when we face difficulties, we need an inner strength. This brings us to resilience. Listen closely. Resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, to bounce back when things get tough. Life isn't always smooth. There will be days when you feel tired or setbacks happen. Resilience isn't about never falling down, but about getting back up, even if it's just slowly. It's about not giving up, even when it feels hard. Perhaps you tried to speak English and felt shy, or you missed a day of your new habit. Resilience means you acknowledge that feeling, but then you gently try again the next day. It's the quiet strength that keeps you moving forward, not perfection. You are building resilience every time you choose to keep going. Let's practice this word. Resilience. When we speak of changing our mindset, a wonderful word that comes to mind is empowering. Listen to it. Empowering. Something that is empowering makes you feel stronger, more confident, and in control of your own life. It gives you the power or authority to do something. When you learn new words, or when you successfully take a micro-action, or when you reframe a negative thought, you are empowering yourself. You are giving yourself the tools and the belief that you can do it. Speaking kindly to yourself, celebrating small victories. These are empowering actions. They help you build the identity of someone who is capable, who is learning, who is growing. It's about feeling your own inner strength awaken. Say it slowly with me. Empowering. As we grow new habits and mindsets, we don't just get them, we carefully develop them. This is where the word cultivate comes in. Hear it again. Cultivate. To cultivate something means to try to acquire or develop a skill or quality over a period of time. It's like tending a garden. You plant seeds, you water them, you remove weeds, and you give them time to grow. You don't just wake up with a new habit, you cultivate it. You nurture it with consistent small actions. You cultivate patience by practicing it. You cultivate a positive mindset by reframing negative thoughts. You cultivate your English speaking ability by consistently speaking, even if it's just to yourself. It's an active, caring process, not something that happens by magic. It requires your gentle attention. Let's say, cultivate together. Finally, the ultimate result of all these small steps, consistency, and resilience is transformation. Listen carefully. Transformation. Transformation is a complete or dramatic change in form or appearance, or in character or nature. It's the big picture. Becoming the person you truly want to be. Remember how I spoke about feeling like I wasn't a reader, and then, through micro-actions and consistency, I transformed into someone who reads regularly? That was a transformation. It's not an overnight event, but the beautiful unfolding of consistent effort. You are not just learning English words, you are transforming into someone who communicates confidently in English. You are not just adopting new habits, you are transforming your life little by little into one that feels more aligned with your truest self. Can you say transformation with me? These words are not just for your vocabulary, they are for your life. They help us understand that change is a process, not an event, and that you have all the power within you to begin this wonderful journey of transformation, one gentle step at a time. Sometimes, when we talk about change, our thoughts can feel a little tangled, can't they? Like a ball of yarn that needs to be unwound. And just as we use specific words to name our feelings and actions, we also use certain grammar patterns to help us express these deeper thoughts, to shape our understanding of ourselves and our journey. They are like quiet tools that help us build a clearer picture of where we've been and where we're going. Let's gently explore 2 grammar patterns that are wonderfully suited for reflecting on change and cultivating a new mindset. The first is the present perfect tense. It sounds a bit formal, doesn't it? But it's actually very personal and fluid. We use the present perfect to talk about experiences that started in the past and continue up to the present moment, or actions that happened in the past but have a very clear connection to now. Think of it as a bridge connecting your past self to your present self. For example, I could say, I have always felt that truly big changes come from tiny beginnings. This means it's a feeling that started long ago in my past and still holds true for me right now. It's not just something I felt once, it's a continuing truth. It shows how my past thinking connects to my current understanding of change. Consider how this applies to your own journey with English. Perhaps you could say, I have been listening to English podcasts for a few months now. This tells me that you started in the past and you are still doing it, which is wonderful consistency. Or, I have learned so many new words from these episodes. This means the learning happened in the past, but the knowledge is still with you, helping you right now. This tense is so powerful for reframing our self-talk. Instead of saying, I wasn't good at English, which just points to a past state, you can reframe it with the present perfect to express progress. I have been working on my English, and I have seen some improvement. This highlights your continuous effort and the positive results you're experiencing now. It shifts the focus from past perceived shortcomings to present growth. It helps us acknowledge our journey, celebrating how far we've come. Think about it. I have overcome what shyness when speaking a new language. That's a powerful statement, showing a past challenge that you've successfully navigated and the confidence you now carry. Or, I have chosen to prioritize my well-being more recently, reflecting a decision made in the past that is still actively shaping your life today. Now, let's turn our attention to another very useful pattern, especially when we talk about small actions leading to future possibilities, the first conditional. This is often structured like this. If something happens in the present, something else will happen in the future. It's about cause and effect, about real possibilities and likely outcomes. It helps us see the direct result of our small choices. For instance, we talked about microactions. Using the first conditional, you could say, if I take just one micro action today, I will feel more a sense of accomplishment. Here, the if part is the small action, and the will part is the certain positive feeling that will follow. It links your gentle effort directly to a tangible reward, making it easier to begin. Think about reframing negative thoughts. You could say, if I reframe that negative thought, my mindset will shift towards a more positive one. This pattern allows us to imagine the direct, beneficial outcome of changing our internal dialogue. It shows us that we have control over our mental landscape. Let's use another example related to consistency. If you practice your English consistently, even for 5 minutes a day, you will notice your confidence growing. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a very real and predictable outcome of steady effort. The first conditional helps us visualize this future success, making the small steps feel more meaningful. It also reminds us that our small decisions today truly do shape our tomorrow. If I choose self-compassion when I make a mistake, I will learn and grow faster. This pattern empowers you, showing you that your current gentle actions are direct pathways to a better future self. It's about building confidence by seeing the clear, positive chain reaction that starts with you. So, the present perfect helps us acknowledge our journey and progress, bridging our past efforts to our present self. And the first conditional helps us map out the positive future that will naturally unfold from our small, consistent actions today. Together, these patterns are not just grammar. They are ways of thinking, ways of shaping our English, and more importantly, shaping our mindset towards growth and transformation. They help us tell our own story of change, one empowered sentence at a time. Now, we've gently explored some grammar patterns that help us talk about our journey and our potential. But grammar and vocabulary truly come alive when we use them, when they become part of our own voice. So, this part of our time together is for you to practice, to hear your own voice shaping these new thoughts and expressions. Remember, every time you speak, even if it's just to yourself, you are building a muscle, strengthening your connection to English and to your own evolving self. Let's try some sentences together. I'll say them slowly, and I invite you to repeat them aloud in your own comfortable space. Don't worry about perfection. Just focus on the sound of your voice making these words your own. First, let's use the present perfect to acknowledge a small step you might have already taken today. It connects to our idea that change begins with micro actions. Repeat after me. I have already taken a small micro action today by just listening. Let's try that again, even slower. Have already taken a small micro action today by just listening. Wonderful. Just being here, listening, is a step. You've done it. Now, let's use the first conditional to imagine the positive outcome of reframing a thought. This connects to how our mindset shapes our reality. Repeat after me. If zero is reframe this challenge, will see it as an opportunity for growth. Take your time. Again, if I veer a reframe this challenge, will see it as an opportunity for growth. Excellent. You're giving yourself the power to change how you see things just by changing your words. Here's another one, connecting to the power of consistency. This uses the present perfect again. Repeat with me. You have been practicing your English with such consistency. and it really shows. One more time, gently. You have been practicing your English with such consistency, and it really shows. Feel that truth in your words. Your steady effort truly pays off. And finally, let's use the first conditional to embrace self-compassion. Repeat after me. If I choose self-compassion, when I feel stuck, I will continue far my journey with more ease. Slowly, one last time. If I choose self-compassion, when I feel stuck, I will continue my journey with more ease. Notice how those sentences feel. They are not just words. They are affirmations, gentle promises to yourself. Now, I want to offer you some soft prompts, some questions for you to answer. You can answer them aloud to yourself, or if you prefer, you can just think about the answer, letting the words form in your mind. Or, if you keep a journal, you could even write them down after our time together. The key is to engage, to let your mind and voice work with these ideas. There's no right or wrong answer, just your honest reflection. First prompt, using the present perfect and the idea of micro-actions. What is one small micro-action you have taken this week to improve your English or anything else in your life? Take a moment. What small, almost unnoticeable step did you take that felt like a quiet victory? Maybe it was listening to 5 minutes of English or taking one deep breath when you felt overwhelmed. What have you done? Pause and think or whisper your answer. That's wonderful. Acknowledging these small steps is incredibly powerful. Now, let's use the first conditional and the idea of reframing your mindset. Think about a negative thought you sometimes have about your English learning, or perhaps about your ability to change something in your life. If you reframe that negative thought right now, what positive outcome will you imagine? For instance, if you think, I'm not learning fast enough, you might reframe it to, if I focus on my progress, I will feel more confident about my pace. What about you? How can you reframe it? Take your time to form your thought. Beautiful. You hold the power to shift your perspective. Here's another one, focusing on consistency and using the present perfect. How have you experienced the power of consistency in your life, even in small ways? Think about anything. Maybe consistently watering a plant and seeing it grow, or consistently showing up for a hobby. How has that steady, gentle effort led to something positive for you? What have you noticed? Allow yourself to reflect. It's true, isn't it? Consistency, even more than sudden bursts of motivation, builds lasting change. And finally, let's consider self-compassion using the first conditional. What is one way you can choose self-compassion was today? And what positive change will that bring to your feeling or your learning? Perhaps it's saying to yourself, if I don't understand every word, I will still be proud of myself for trying. What simple act of kindness can you offer yourself right now? Think about it and let the gentle answer arise. Every time you engage with these questions, every time you choose to speak or even just think in English about your own growth, you are building not just language skills, but a stronger, more resilient self. These moments of practice are powerful. They are small, consistent steps that are truly shaping your voice and your progress. Remember, you don't need a perfect performance. You just need to show up gently, consistently. That is the true strength of your journey. You are planting seeds of change, and every time you speak or reflect, you are watering them. Keep nurturing your voice. Keep nurturing your progress. It's truly a beautiful journey. And so, we gently come to the close of our time together today. Remember at the very beginning, I invited you to get comfortable, perhaps pour some tea, and simply be present with me. That simple act, that quiet moment you created for yourself, was a micro action, a small step. And just like that, every little choice, every gentle breath, every new word you allow into your mind builds into something truly meaningful. We've talked about how change begins with small steps, how you don't need a dramatic overhaul, but simply one small action. It's like planting a tiny seed. You don't see the forest immediately, but the journey of growth has begun. And you, my friend, have been planting those seeds today, just by listening, by repeating, by reflecting. Remember that feeling of being stuck, perhaps a little tired, or even a bit afraid? I want you to remember that you are not alone in those feelings. So many of us feel that way sometimes, but the beautiful truth is, you have the power within you to overcome them. The journey might feel long sometimes, but it's the consistency, not perfection, that truly guides you forward. Every single time you show up, every single time you listen or say even just one sentence, you are making progress. You are showing up for yourself. And in that showing up, you are reminding yourself that you deserve more confidence, more joy, more peace. You deserve to speak your mind, to understand the world around you, and to feel truly at home in English. It's okay to want that, and more importantly, it's okay to begin reaching for it right now. You don't need permission, do you? You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or for a sudden surge of motivation that may or may not arrive. You just need to begin. And you have already done that, haven't you? You started today. You're ready. If this episode helped you to feel a little more confident in your English today, if it offered you a moment of calm reflection, or just a quiet nudge toward your own incredible potential, I would be so very grateful if you would share it with someone else who is also learning English. Perhaps a friend, or a family member, or anyone who might benefit from a gentle, encouraging voice. Your sharing helps this little podcast reach more hearts and minds. Thank you truly for spending this time with me. Thank you for opening your ears and your heart to these words and for allowing yourself to grow. Until next time, please take such good care of yourself and always, always keep learning.